right place, right time, or maybe
call it a miracle or a blessing.
However you see it, there's no doubt what Ron experienced Friday at this horrible scene saved lives.
And the word gets out pretty quick that there's an emergency.
Ron Harris works here as the health and safety manager at Ruby's Inn. Just before 11:30 a.m. around the corner, this tour bus flipped on Highway 12, killing 4 and injuring nearly every single other person on board.
The tourists were calling it in and they were just saying we're right by Bryce.
And right by Ron, who also happens to be the volunteer fire chief for Tropic in Bryce City and an advanced EMT. Thankfully, his work understood. Ron and 2 other EMTs who work here needed to go.
We headed out, jumped in the vehicle, drove over.
A quick turn from their day jobs to this devastating crash. As the first responders, they couldn't even communicate with the more than 24 Chinese tourists.
We had no translation at all. It was mostly sign language.
Surrounding agencies arrived. Just like Ron, they're all volunteers and dropped everything to help. He says Ruby's Inn sent employees who spoke Mandarin Chinese to translate. Bystanders jumped in.
Our volunteers saved lives yesterday.
From here on the highway to here at the hospital, where it just so happened, Garfield County Sheriff Danny Perkins says staff were in the middle of a trauma training.
We had some extra nurses on hand and trauma nurses, and that's exactly what we needed.
Exactly what they needed.
Man, they come together down there, and it was impressive.
Whether blessings, miracles, or complete coincidences, in the worst moments, reasons to be thankful.
It's just the little tiny things. As I laid awake this morning at 4 o'clock this morning, thinking about running the whole incident through my head over and over again, of the many tender mercies that happened.
Even though Garfield County's role in this, the work of those volunteers is over. Now, of course, that NTSB crash investigation takes over as they and UHP try to figure out what unfolded here. Near Bryce Canyon, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.